jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What's going on, everyone? Scotty White of World Combat Sports. I'm at Alto's BJJ School interviewing the one and only Guy Ficker. You made some transitions since the last time we talked.
Yeah.
You know, let's first get into the amateur part of it. The last time I seen you was at the North American Grappling Association tournament.
Yeah.
You know, you did outstanding over there.
Yeah.
Talk about the transition. What made you decide at a young age to finally turn professional?
So after doing the Naga and doing a few more new breeds, I started seeing a lot of Atos people, specifically Atos Atlanta people doing these tournaments, and they were doing very well. And so I came up here one Saturday, probably about a year ago, and trained here, and everyone just like beat me up so bad. And I got to train with Bruno, and it was just like humiliating. And I was like, I have to train here now because this is so much better than what I was doing. So I started training here more, and they have a lot more competitors that you know, do this for a living, like really kind of put the effort in, drill early. Where I was at before, it was more hobbyist, you know, slower pace, a little bit different style. But here, everything's so quick, it's so tight and competition driven, really. So it's much different in terms of the environment for competition. And the more and more I started to train here, it used to be, you know, just one Saturday a week, and then it started turning into 2 days, and then I started like talking to people here, and now I come up here pretty much every day, and really looking to do big tournaments like Worlds, Pans, more IBJJF stuff, not so much new breeds, and like you said, Nagas, like I was doing before. So I'm really like picking and choosing and worrying about the rankings and that kind of thing. And so that was the transition here. It was when I started coming here at Atos Atlanta. It was really the push into professional jiu-jitsu that I was looking for.
How old are you now?
I'm 17.
He's 17 years old, which is incredible. And we talked about this previously on the first interview I did with you, about how long you've actually been taking up BJJ to begin with.
Yeah.
How long has that been?
So I started training just like as a white belt, just first stepped onto the mat in August of 2019. I went through that summer and I wasn't really doing anything, and I was like, well, my dad did jiu-jitsu. I better find something like that. And so I just went into Smith, Missouri Jiu-Jitsu, an old friend, and started training there. And then it was probably a few months before I was like, I get this and I like it. Like it was a treat to go in and drill with my brother, to train with some of my friends there. So it was really just a few months in that I really started like training hard. And it's been about 2 years since I first stepped onto the mat. So only about a year of actual like hard training though, like where I really was like putting effort into this. Before it was just like, you know, whatever, this is what I do as a sport, you know, until I actually do something that matters. So
this is obviously a school, right?
Yeah.
Quite different than college. Being that you're so young, you haven't experienced that.
Yeah.
But as far as coming here learning and increasing your motivation,
yeah,
what do you do for as BJJ? Because this is a mental and a physical game.
Yeah. So as far as the mental aspects, that's what I focus on mainly. I'm not very strong. So I really, in the beginning especially, had to focus on like, all right, what am I doing wrong? So I'd go to my coach and or my professors, and I would be like, well, what can I do here? Because I get stuck here a lot. and it would just start out with that, and then I would go online and look at stuff, and then I started getting instructionals, and that was where I finally was like, like this is a mental game, and it really matters where you put your hand, where your pressure is, that sort of thing. Here, it's all about that. It's very technique oriented. Instead of the positions being only shown for a minute or 30 seconds, it would be like 10 minutes of just like one pass or one sweep, 10 minutes of just every detail you needed to know. And that's really valuable to have in a training environment, especially one that's competition driven, where every pinpoint of pressure and every grip you make is very important and it could cost you the match. So that was the mental aspect of the game for me, was just like instructionals, figuring out positions, drilling, that sort of thing. In terms of the physical stuff, I don't really lift that often. I don't worry about that too much. I train pretty hard here, so I feel like my quickness is just about my strength. In terms of like what I do well, I'm very quick with my transitions. I'm not very strong, like isometrically.
But you're fast.
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah. Your imminent roll, I still remember you doing that in absolute man. I was like, wow. And you did it with a friend of mine that I actually noticed in Alabama.
Yeah, Jose.
Yeah. And he was having problems with you. So you mentioned how you don't lift weights. Yeah. But he's a big dude. He's like Cyborg Sanchez type.
Yeah, he was
builds.
Yeah, he was very big.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing to me for BJJ, I just find it as one of the most beautiful sports.
Yes.
Full contact sports, because you have to have this to play on that.
Yeah.
And there's no way you can learn anything about BJJ unless you have a partner.
Yeah.
And another partner, and another partner, and a professor who is teaching you.
Yeah.
So that's what's amazing about BJJ. Do you think it's grown?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's still evolving. There's still positions that I think will be big in a year or two that are still being developed right now. Like the matrix. Like I started working on that probably about 6 months ago, and that was one of those positions where like a year or two ago, Tommy Langaker was doing it on everyone, and they thought
explain the matrix.
So it's a back take that Tommy Langaker from I think it's Norway, he kind of pioneered, I think, and then a few people started doing it, and it was kind of one of those moves that everyone saw and was like, that's neat, but I don't think it'd ever work. And now it's like a mainstay thing that a lot of people in the competition scene know how to do. So I think it's evolving like that, and also in terms of like all the rule sets, like there's beginning to be like a huge, like greater increasing separation between no-gi and gi grappling. Not in the sense that just the style, which yes, that they're very different in that just naturally, but in like the scenes of competitions and gyms and what people want to see on TV. Like who's to say that there's more gi people than no gi people, or vice versa? Who would want to see that? Like which one's more entertaining? Like
speaking of no gi and gi, you compete in both.
I do. I do both. Yeah.
So you compete in both. What is more difficult for you?
I don't know which one's more difficult to me, because every time I step on the mat and I train with some of these guys here, I feel like I suck regardless. But
you're just being humble. That's
But I feel like no-gi is harder for me now. It used to be easier for me because people couldn't hold me down, like there'd be no grips. But in order to get like offensive, gi is better for me. I feel like I can go after people in gi and kind of start attacking people more. There's more options. But in no-gi, I feel like it's all about the scramble. Like it's all about just moving quickly and being connected to your partner. And that's harder to do than people realize. Like you have to be a good wrestler. You have to be good at coming up from guard. You can't stay on your butt. I feel like no-gi is starting to be harder for me. But I'm trying to get better at it. I've been training for no-gi worlds recently. So I've been doing only no-gi, and I can already feel like little improvements stacking on each other. So it's going good.
Outside of your speed, one of your amazing strengths is you attack the legs
Yeah.
like relentlessly.
Yeah.
So what is that call exactly? You know, you like working off your back. Some guys like working from top position. But what do you attribute that to, being so comfortable working off your back and attacking your opponent's legs?
I think it's really just like a product of me being tiny. Like I can't really like I was always playing on my back since the beginning, either close guard or just whatever, open guard or whatever. I started playing more open guard here, but in the beginning it was close guard. And it was just like me not really knowing what to do and just being, pushed down. Being like, well, I guess I have to work from here now. But the legs, I saw like Gordon Ryan and Craig Jones and all the beginning when I first started doing it, because they were popular at the time, and just started working at what they were doing, right? So I would just figure out like what they were doing in their competitions or in their matches, and I would just learn how to do that, and then it became a main part of my game. Like that's all I looked out for, and especially at those nagas, like you in the rule set you're allowed to hit those, so it's it's purposeful drilling when you do that. But in like IBJJF tournaments, like the ones I'm going to now, I can't do those, so I have to like change up my game.
You can't do what?
Heel hooks and leg locks. Like there's certain ones that I can do, like more basic ones, but in terms of heel hooks, knee bars, toe holds, all like the crazy stuff, like the one I did on Jose Evans, like I can't do that in IBJJF, the ones I'm doing now. So
I mean, why is that though? If it's all encompassing BJJ, why is that rule not applicable?
it's really just because it is to prevent injuries. Like heel hooks, there's such a tiny incremental stage between pain and injury. Because like if you get put in an arm bar, your arm has time from when it feels pain to when it actually breaks. There's a lot of flex in the arm, more than you would think. But like in the knee, because it's so complicated and fragile, and there's LCL, ACL, whatever, so many ligaments that could pop just from like bending in a weird way, especially older people, like
myself.
yeah, but it's just like there's a point between pain and the actual ligament or bone breaking, and it's very short in a heel hook. So as soon as you feel it on, you should tap. So
thanks for breaking that down for me, because
Yeah.
I'm like, the whole entire game of BJJ is points and contacts and joint
Yeah.
manipulations and
Yes.
everything. So I wouldn't really think that.
one would be illegal and the other wouldn't.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of rules like that, and there's a lot of like weird like little like, oh, you can do this but not this, or like some things that like probably should be in one division but aren't, for like old reasons. Like it used to be everything was legal, and you'd see people on the stands, like 50 people on the stands with ice on their knee because they didn't want to tackle a heel hook. So in IBJJF, specifically, if you're a color belt, if you're not a brown and black belt, then you can't really do much leg locks.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you just completed the first professional competition, right?
Yeah, hands.
Pans. So how was that feeling for you, man? How did you feel you matched up against your odds?
So I felt really good in the quarters and the semis. I felt really good. I took the back in the first one, submitted him with bow and arrow choke, and then hit a bolo right off the bat. In my second one, took the back, he escaped. Then I hit the matrix on him and took his back again, and wasn't able to get the finish, but still racked up a lot of points and dominated the match. And then in the second match, I fought Cole Abate, who's he represents AOJ, the Art of Jiu-Jitsu under the Mendez brothers, and he's been training way longer than me, been doing high-level competitions pretty much professionally.
He's pretty
way
young
longer
too,
than me.
right?
He's my age. He's either 17 or 16, I'm not sure, but he's my age, fighting juvenile, blue belt, but he is amazing. He's doing
Who's number one?
Yeah, who's number one, a professional bracket with a bunch of black belts that are super high level. So he's the top of the heap in many regards. So fighting him was a privilege, but it was very hard, and I got finished.
You got experience though.
Yeah, I did get experience. I did feel like that, like there's a possibility that I could beat him, but there's a lot of layers to peel back in my game and in his to actually get to that point. But yeah, so I fought him in the finals and lost and got second, but it was very cool and very it was a very honorable match to do. Like I really appreciated that he was in my bracket. I've always wanted to fight him, and then he moved up into my bracket. And it was one of those feelings where it's like I'm scared, but I'm also very excited. I'm very excited to fight and be at that level, and just to be associated with him in that regard. To get in the finals of hands with him, that was a privilege.
You know, when I see you continue to evolve, I'm like, he's just soaking everything in.
Yeah.
Because, you know, from the first time I seen you to when I actually seen you in your first pro, I was like, wow, he's learning new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he's not just sticking to going for the legs and settling for that. He's trying new things.
Yeah, I really like want to take in as much as possible, because if you don't, like, you might miss out on something, or you might miss a part of a position that could cost you a match later. So it's really important that you stay focused when you're drilling and when you're rolling, and like recording your rolling and recording your matches and going back and look. Like, I remember when I did the Atlanta Open, I'm still watching my matches from the Atlanta Open and being like, I could have done this there, or I could have done this there, and then going back again, like maybe a month later, and being like, I could have done that there. We just did that today. You know, like just like stuff like that. It's like you have to take in everything you're told and everything you're shown, because if you don't and you forget, then that could be the difference between being a national champion and not being a national champion, or a world champion or not a world champion. So you have to take everything in order to be good.
Absolutely.
You stay stagnant.
Absolutely. You know what, Cole, what do you feel you have to do to bridge that competitive gap as far as his strength versus your strength, to be able to, you know, compete with him again against, you know, and do better and not get finished?
Well, there's a lot that he's done compared to what I've done. I haven't done a whole lot in terms of actual like competition. I've done plenty, but there's so much experience that I haven't gotten that he's already gotten at such a young age.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of experience. It's a lot of like confidence. Just training with the Mendes brothers and all the people that train at AOJ, just alone gives you so much confidence in your game that if you train there every day, like, you know you can roll with the best guys in the world. Maybe you don't win. Like some of the guys there, like they don't win every time, but they have the confidence to go out there and like give it, like give all of what they have, like throw the kitchen sink at the people and have confidence that it'll work. And a lot of times it does. Like they're so technical and they're so like precise. All the guys at AOJ, not just Cole, but Cole is just at a level where he can train whenever he wants. He does competitions that are super high level all the time, and he has the resources and is very lucky in that regard to be able to train with the Mendes brothers, and not only train with them, but train with them like every day and like study them, and you know, and he's also, you know, I think some people don't give him enough credit, where like he's actually talented. Like there's plenty of kids that were like him that didn't, you know, make it to where he is. Like he's done a lot, even for being, you know, a kid in California that can be able to go out and do other stuff. Like he's done a lot. Like he's not lazy, and he's not just some untalented kid that went out there and had the money to do it. You know, like he really is like the best because he put the work in and had the talent to. I think a lot of people throw out his talent, throw it out the window just because he's, you know, training with the Mendes brothers or whatever. You know, like, oh, he's just some rich kid that can do that, right?
Yeah.
But no, he's talented. He's good.
Heading out to this tournament in Garland, Texas,
Yeah. So I'm doing no.
First of all, is it going to be submission only or?
No, it's no-gi pans. So or not no-gi pans. It's no-gi worlds. So it'll be IBJJF, and it'll be World Championship, and I'll be doing the middle division, juvenile, bracket blue, and then there's 6 people in my division as of now. Cole's in it, and some other people that I've fought already. I'm hoping to fight Cole in the finals, yeah. So it's not submission only; it's points. I can't do leg locks, and the matches are 5 minutes long. So it's a crunch for time as far as I'm concerned. In terms of how long the matches are, like I really like having like 10 minutes or like 7 minutes to like go at somebody, because I feel like I can finish most of the people in my division within 7 minutes, but it's that 5 minute like or 2 minute difference that like I really need to start working for like a finish. I try to finish everybody, but I get up on points, and then from there it's just a drive to the finish. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's no-gi world.
It's no-gi world. So therefore, just say there's no submission within that 5 minutes. They go on the most active grappler?
Yeah, so it's points driven.
Oh,
so
points.
if I take the back and I get 4 points and I just hold that for the rest of the match, I win.
All right.
So it's position based.
So you have to speed up your processing a bit more, you know?
Yeah, I do at least. Some people, that's just the speed they work at, and they just go super fast. But I really kind of slow down once I get to a dominant position. Like if I get to the back, if I get the mount, like it's just my time to work. So I'm very fast to getting there, but I usually take my time for the finish. And sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad, you know. Either or.
Hey, talk about your brother Cash, man. What have you been up to? I saw him in the hospital that time.
Yeah.
You know your mom quit. I say that. Well, that is the life.
Yeah, that's
grappling.
Yeah, that he was training, and he was in a reverse triangle, and his arm got ripped back for like an arm bar, and his shoulder dislocated, and he felt it immediately. And, I was like, yeah, you can't walk this off. He's like, no, I can walk it off. And I'm like, no, I can see your bone. You're not. So he got sent off, and he's doing fine now. Like it wasn't too bad. It was just a dislocated shoulder. So he got out, and then he started training. And he can't do no-gi worlds or any no-gi tournaments unless he does like an amateur like New Breed or Naga. So he recently went to Kid Pans and had a super tough fight in his first round, and was unable to like get anything going, and lost the match. Didn't place, so he was upset, but it's just back to the drawing board from there. And he'd only been doing it for a year at that point, so he's been doing it less than me, and we're working on his gi game right now because he can't do. They don't have no-gi tournaments for kids in IBJJF, so he's only doing gi pretty much. But we're working on his top game, so we're working on his passing and how to get to the back from there, and wrestling and that sort of thing. Because I don't think he's gonna really be interested in the bolo like me. So yeah, that's where he's at.
You're a blue belt now, right?
Yes.
Okay, outstanding. Talk about your school, man. How long have you been training here, first of all?
I've been training here probably 8 months.
8 months?
I would probably say, I think, maybe a little bit less.
Okay.
But in that 8 months, like, I've made a lot of improvements. Like, I train so hard here almost every day. So, like, in that 8 months' time, it's been, like, a big improvement and a big, big steps taken in my game. Like, being able to train with other people like me is such a privilege and so like beneficial for me. So it's really good to train here. I love training here, especially with Bruno Fussato. He's like one of the best teachers in the country. He's so good. I love training with him. He's the best.
So that is your professor?
Yes.
Okay. What is his name?
Bruno Fazzato.
Bruno Fazzato. And he himself is, of course, a high-level
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu competitor.
He's a high level black belt. Yeah.
Black belt. And how long has he been competing?
You have to ask him that.
Okay.
Decades.
Okay.
Really long. He's one of the best. He's been competing high level black belt for a long time.
What are some names he was in there with? I know
He fought Gio Martinez at ADCC. He fought Cobrinha at the World Championships a lot of times. And then he won the ADCC trials. He's done so much. He's been around for so long too. So he knows just pretty much all there is to know about jiu-jitsu. He's very good everywhere. And also one of the pioneers of the bolo. So it's good to have him around when I have any questions about any positions from there. So
okay.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's outstanding. You know, it's a pleasure. Thanks for allowing me to interview you again. You know, I've been trying to follow you. I know you're busy in tournaments, but I would definitely try a bit harder, you know, reaching out to your parents and try to catch your tournaments here locally in Atlanta. I might be in Texas, man. I always wanted to go up there and cover that particular tournament, especially out in BJJ.
Yeah.
You know? And there's going to be a lot of big names up there, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what's a big name that you, one of your favorite grapplers right now?
There's a lot. I like a lot of people. Mikey Musumeci comes to mind.
Yeah.
He's probably my favorite.
And his sister competes also, right?
Yeah. His sister is doing the who's number one, I think, still.
Yeah.
And
he is too.
Yeah, he is too. So it'll be interesting to see like her no-gi game. Because I know she did. I think she did no-gi worlds. I can't remember if she won or not, but she's really good.
Have you been paying attention between, you know, Mike said he want to work on his brake mechanics?
Yeah, and Gio,
Because Gio called in.
I love Mike.
He was like, okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? You think he's just talking?
I think Mikey was being genuine. You know, Mikey's a very straightforward guy. So I think that he really meant that, but I don't think it was very malicious. I think he was literally just like
you don't think
really
he's
worried?
Malicious?
No.
He said he wants Gio.
Yeah.
He won the first opponent.
Yeah. Because I mean, I would say that too. Like, you either want to meet them in the finals or you want to meet them in the beginning, and he wants to meet him in the beginning, which is good because I feel like Mikey can beat him again for sure. Nothing against Gio, he's amazing, but I think Mikey's just so good and he's so ever-evolving that Gio's just going to have to find a solution to problems that Mikey's already like gone through. Like he's way past the problems that Gio's trying to fix. So I think that I really think that Mikey's going to beat him, but I don't know if he's going to finish. I think Gio's he's so good at escaping, and he's so like just slippery, not in the sense that like he's sweaty, but he's very just like he's hard to get a hold of and get anything going, and you can't let him like get going with his stuff because he'll just roll through and get you in something. But I do think that Mikey is gonna be able to pull it out again.
I covered his brother, the Boogeyman, a little bit when I was in California.
Yeah,
I seen him.
He's really good too.
Yeah, I seen him compete, and also in MMA when he decided to take MMA for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasure, you know, the whole 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu over there.
Yeah, they're good.
And stuff like that. But anything you want to say to your fans that's out here, that's following you, that's coming up, that maybe your supporters?
Yeah, thanks, Mom. Thanks for supporting me. Thank you for watching. I'll go out there and I'll fight as hard as I can in Texas.
That's what it is, and let them know.
Yeah.
What date is that tournament coming up? October, right?
Yeah, it's in October. I can't remember the day. I fight on the Saturday, so I think it's a 4-day tournament. And I fight on the Saturday of the tournament, and then after that, maybe I'll do a few opens, and then it'll be Gi Worlds, which is in Anaheim, California, and I'll be going out there That's the biggest tournament of the year for me. It's Gi Worlds. Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up, guys. It's always a pleasure, man. Good to be able to stop through and check you out now that you transition to professional.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna try to stay on tap with you.
Yeah.
Because you just happen to be that grappler.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this dude is talented, crazy.
Thank
You know,
you.
your confidence is unbelievable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And thanks for the time once again. And salute for World Combat Sports, man.
Thank you.